art, beer, and good times. Today, we're in RiNo. Or are we?
It is 1,000 degrees outside. I've sweat 2 to 3 gallons today, but it's okay. It's September. Hot as hell, Swanson, isn't it?
It is unbelievably hot.
But we're in RiNo, or what I thought was RiNo. I always thought of this area as RiNo. We're on Larimer Street right now between 25th and 26th. So much cool stuff down here. Breweries, places to eat, music venues. This area is probably the tightest concentration of breweries in all of Denver, which is saying something. However, I always thought of it as RiNo, the River North neighborhood, but my friend Charity just told me it might not be. So I want to check in with her on that.
Charity is a good friend and a good time, and she has dual citizenship between Colorado and California, so she's a great companion to help sort out the local scene. Plus, I think there's something going on between her and Swanson. Anyway, we're gonna hit the streets and get to the bottom of this, or at least share some beverages. I am Sam Neumann, I'm a Denver realtor, and I love exploring our city. Come along with me on The Dispatch.
Charity.
Yes, sir.
Explain this to me, because it does say 5 points right here. I've always thought of this as RiNo, but you're telling me it's not.
I think we're in 5 points.
We're in 5 points.
We're in 5 points, and I feel like 5 points has like all this history and
Yes.
culture, and you know, Denver is the coolest city I know.
It is.
And 5 points is part of that.
And when you look at a map, this, which shocked me, this portion of town is technically in the 5 Points neighborhood.
It is. I think it's up and coming.
There is a rhinoceros or RiNo cutout in this sign, and literally across the street from us.
Yeah.
There's also a RiNo on this mural here.
Yeah.
So it seems that maybe there's some confusion, or maybe we're working through this as a city and as a neighborhood.
I think so.
Do you think that we should go get a beer somewhere?
Please and thank you.
Let's do it.
I mean, it's 1,000,000 degrees.
It's 1,000,000
Let's
degrees.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Charity says it's 5 points, and before we started shooting, I floated the question at a different brewery, which will remain nameless, and I was verbally accosted for even broaching the topic. It's 5 points, this person said, very clearly, and she demanded that I refer to it as such going forward. Odd, but clear. So 2 for 5 points and none for RiNo. It's time to get moving. We have 3 stops today, and in typical Dispatch fashion, we're doing it our way. Anyone can tell you to go to Death & Co. and Uchi, but I want to show you how the real folks live. I'm talking approachable cocktails and fried sushi from a truck. First stop, Improper City. 1 part bar, 1 part gigantic patio, 1 part everything else.
So obviously we're a very physically large space. On that side down there, we've got the coffee bar during the week. Over here, we're more of the regular alcohol bar. People working on their laptops all the time.
Yes.
I call it an unofficial co-working space.
Right.
And then we kind of transition into like the 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Music goes up, laptops go down, people have their tabs open from the coffee bar, and then they start getting beers. This place just has everything. Like I said, the coffee bar, cocktails, a ton great beer selection. That's probably what originally drew me here. We're in the same building as Movement. One of their climbing gyms is here. So it's just a great community for that. All kinds of people are here doing all kinds of things. It's just very central. Everyone's welcome for whatever purpose they have, I guess. And when you're ready for snack or dinner, of course, the food trucks are out back for you.
Definitely gonna hit him. We got the captain today.
The captain is here, yeah.
Did I mention fried sushi? It's the captain's specialty. That and some out-of-this-world fish tacos. Thank you, sir.
Do we need a fork or something?
No, we just dig in.
So we have the fish tacos, which you heard were excellent, but also the fried sushi, which is kind of their mainstay.
Never seen anything like it.
At the Captain, we got to try this.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
I'm so excited. I've never seen anything like this. I'm trying to sort like how does it work?
Keep it together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going in.
So we're using our fingers.
Yep. Yeah, that's the proper way to do it, right?
What are we? Just.
No, we got to try it pure first before we dip in any sauces, right?
Okay.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Yep. You got the shrimp too.
I'm not mad about that.
I'm not mad about it at all.
Yeah.
It keeps getting better, actually, the more you eat.
Happy with that?
That.
Decent?
You guys are gonna have to try.
Not mad about it?
And so they do. The three of us devour those 2 plates in roughly 5 minutes. And it's on to the next place. 10 out of 10 for the captain. American Bonded, this place I love. In a city that is currently overrun with lavish and overdone cocktails that often have foreign objects floating in them or are simply set on fire for no apparent reason, this is an earnest, classic, and wildly delicious spot to get a drink. And they're really good at what they do.
We won Westward Magazine's Best Happy Hour Old Fashioned in Denver. It's a blend of 2 different bourbons, Wild Turkey 101 and Wild Turkey 81, with a splash of Rittenhouse Rye. We also go bitters heavy on it, so it's a little bit of orange bitters, and then Angostura bitters, 5 dashes of each, and then it's our house-made Demerara simple syrup.
A delicious summer drink for Chair Bear, an old-fashioned for me, and one for Swanson for all of his hard, unpaid work. It legitimately may be the best old-fashioned I've ever had.
We've been here for about 5 years now. We opened up under the name American Bonded with the intention that we were going to be a predominantly whiskey bar. As you can tell, we definitely are. Our name is based on the 1897 Bottled and Bond Act of American whiskey. Pretty much before then, people were going blind from unregistered moonshine and hooch being sold. So once you get something that is bottled and bond, that is actually government sanctioned, that means the whiskey is exactly the mash bill and the ABV that it says in the bottle. You're not getting sold some lie. And that was kind of the owner's idea, was to be like, hey, you come here, you're gonna know exactly what you get without any bullshit, without any fluff. You're gonna get a good quality cocktail.
But wait, what about the question of the day?
Last thing.
Yes.
Where we are right now, would you say, is it RiNo or is it 5 points?
I would consider this RiNo. RiNo is a River North art district, and with all the murals, all the street art everywhere, the big bright colorfulness, the river being down the street, this is definitely the RiNo neighborhood. 5 points is a smaller, older neighborhood that is where the actual 5 points are. 26th, 27th, Welton and California Street, right in front of Cervantes Masterpiece Ballroom. I mean, I guess if you're a Denver old head, some of those old heads might consider this still 5 points, but this hasn't really been like 5 points proper, I would say, in 15, 20 years.
For sure the best cocktail I've had in a while.
It was delicious, wasn't it? Tyler was great. Shout out Tyler. We got to get to the next place. We could walk, which we've been doing, but I don't think there's a more central Denver thing to do. Regardless of age, I'm a 35-year-old man. Let's hop on a scooter. What do you say?
I'm older than you and I still want to get on a scooter.
Let's do it.
Here's the thing about scooters. First, you gotta find them, and then you gotta get them to work. And in our advanced age, Charity and I struggle with these things mightily. But eventually we're off. Look at that Shadow working hard. He deserves a raise. For the day's final stop, we head to Epic Brewing, because you don't come to the unofficial beer capital of Denver without hitting at least one classic brewery. It's always been my go-to in the neighborhood for a relaxed atmosphere and a good brew. Sarah is kind enough to pour us a couple and sit down with me for a minute.
This has been one of my favorite breweries in this area for like the longest time.
Yeah.
And
me too.
What do you love about it?
Just all the different styles of beer we do. You know, we do a great Imperial Coffee Stout, we do a great Belgian, and then we flavor our Belgians.
Right.
These fooders here make incredible sours that we then fruit, so.
Well, it's great beer, and like Denver's such a beer town, so to be some of the best beer around in this kind of beer town says a lot.
It does. I think it's like the neighborhood, like the water in this neighborhood is just incredible too. Something about the water down here.
Speaking of the neighborhood, we've been asking everybody because this has recently become a point of confusion for me.
Okay.
Are we in RiNo or are we in 5 points?
So,
you know what I'm saying?
I believe 5 points is just a little bit more that away.
Right.
So this is considered like the very beginning of RiNo.
Okay. That's what I thought. I've always thought of it as RiNo.
But RiNo goes so much farther now than it used to.
Right.
Like blocks and blocks and blocks. So it totally depends on who you talk to. My grandpa would have been 95 today. If you would have asked him, he would have told you this is 5 points.
Sure. Yeah, I believe that. What do you love about this area, this RiNo area?
I love that it's always developing and that they're developing housing for like, you know, people who may need assistance. And just all the variety out there. Like you've got Italian, you've got Mexican restaurants. We have a Venezuelan food truck that likes to come up here and like sell 2 to 3 times a week. So just diversity in food. All the breweries is amazing. A lot of people just beer hop all the breweries, like all the way from Ratio to Beer Shot to River North, and it's just like a super great little beer tour you can do.
Oh,
this is actually the world's largest beer koozie.
Oh, really?
Yep, we just found out.
Look at that. Well, that's beautiful.
I like that place.
Love it. Some of the best beer around, and that's saying something.
I mean, great beer.
Yep.
I mean, they're super nice.
We've been there long enough that the sun is kind of setting.
I know. I don't feel like I'm like sweating my face off right now.
I know. It feels much better now.
It's better.
We never quite figured out the RiNo 5 points thing. I think, Charity, maybe this is one of those things that we can't quite come to an answer on.
That's okay.
I think it is okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
On the topic of RiNo or 5 points, we end the day at 2-2. Sarah and Tyler versus Charity and angry off-camera lady. I suppose it could be up to me to cast the deciding vote, but dear viewer, I'm just here for a good time, and I've never been much into voting anyway. What I have been into is having an enormous slice of pizza to soak it all up at the end of a glorious day such as this. And since we're right around the corner from the Walnut Room, we're gonna make one more quick stop.
Perfect way to end the night. Little pizza and Walnut.
I love RiNo. I mean, 5 points. I mean, RiNo.
Whatever it's called.
See you next time, friends.